There, Microsoft 365 Nation. This is another ongoing conversation with one of our contributors, Michael Fraser at Refactr. So, Michael, welcome back. I appreciate your contributions to the community to kind of add value as we can. And can you quickly introduce yourself for people that haven't met you and tell us what you're doing with Refactr? And it's a slightly different business model than we MSPs are used to, sir.
Yeah. Thanks, Harry. Yeah, Mike Fraser, CEO and co-founder of Refactr, and yes, we're a cloud and security software startup that is providing a platform for service providers to be able to visually architect and create solutions in the public cloud and just against anything as a service.
Yep. And with this month's contribution, it's almost like a lightning round. We want to kind of rattle off the top security and privacy features of the underlying Office 365. So if you want to just kind of start rattling them off, and I might ask you a question or two.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first one is that the restriction of physical data center access and 24/7 secure monitoring via video surveillance and being able to know if there's a security breach or not from a physical security access. So every data center that O365 is being utilized from with Microsoft has a physical security layer element. The second one is the ability to encrypt data both at rest and over the network as it's being transmitted between the user and the data center, which is a nice little nugget of security goodness right there. The third one is there's no mining or access to data for advertising purposes. And I know this was a big deal that I've seen at all kinds of different cloud service provider conferences and came up again when I was just at Google Next. Four, Microsoft will not or will only use the data to provide service to customers for O365. So there's absolutely no looking into mailboxes or any data for any customer. 5, there are regular backups that are done behind the scenes that you don't even know are going on, but those happen all the time. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be using a third-party solution to back up to be able to get the data retention you want, because
the retention,
exactly. Number 6, Microsoft won't delete all of your data at the end of the service. There actually is some time where you can make a request to be able to get the data back, or you can get the data ported back to you. So if you decided to change providers, I haven't really seen that happen, but it is plausible.
I'll tell you what, I can add just a little bit of value there, that our audience of SMB MSPs, we all, quite frankly, tend to subscribe to Microsoft Action Pack, right? That's kind of our partner level. There are bigger players, I get it, but with Action Pack, you're getting the 5 free licenses. And once in a blue moon, it's even happened to me, but more often I hear from readers, is that for whatever reason they lapse their 365 subscription, and it does a couple of things. It goes into reduced functionality mode, but it's still there. The data's still there, and then you just got to re-up your subscription with Microsoft Action Pack. And then there's cases of the lapse period expires. But to your point, yes, I am aware that there is some data retention on the back end at Microsoft. I mean, thank God. Could you imagine if your credit card bounced on a Tuesday and your data got wiped out, about an hour later, man? Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. You may have a customer not only angry with you, but that could be the last days of your MSP. So yes, thankfully.
All right. Well, continue on with your top security features. Continue.
Yep. No worries. So 7, Microsoft hosts custom data in region, so you can be able to get the data in whatever location you are. So you don't have to worry about if you're on the West Coast that you're trying to hit it from an East Coast perspective. And also cuts down on the attack vector as well. Number 8, enforcing hard passwords to increase security of any data that's there, which is good because that policy and having that sort of control in place is essential, especially anybody bringing their on-premise stuff to the cloud. 9, you can turn off and on privacy features. So if you want them to meet your needs, there's also some transparency that Microsoft has with the Microsoft Trust Center, where there's a lot of good information about what they do, what they don't do, the different types of compliance that they meet, and so on and so forth. And then number 10 is they are committed to making sure that there are all of these data processing terms, all the privacy and everything else is in any agreement that you're engaged with Microsoft, which I think is good. And again, the Trust Center goes over everything and ensures that Microsoft is being as transparent as we can all hope that they will be. But there is a lot of good information about privacy, and even I guess it's not so new anymore, but GDPR, and then even the privacy stuff that's coming online with California and even here in Washington State, which they're hashing out in the House, I think, as we speak, or it's happening right now. It's been happening last week, I know that for sure.
Yeah, probably so. Well, hey, let me thank you for those insights this month. Now, let me change the subject. As you know, I've featured you once and referenced you another time on, sort of the MSP or service provider who's gone to be an ISP, and your company literally reflects that with a little bit of a play on word. And so tell us about how can people play in your reindeer game? You have a private beta. How can we help you? What's going on with you, and how can the audience engage with you?
Yep. So we have our main product offering, which we call the Cloud Plus Security Architect platform for any service provider that wants to be able to get in and start building stuff in the public cloud and teaching their current IT folks and how to start becoming cloud architects and cloud security architects. That's what our platform's for. So they can come to refactr.it, REFACTR, no trailing O.
Put that on the bottom of the screen for you.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. And then we also have a private beta of another product, which is Ansible in a browser. It's what we call playbook.cloud. We've had some service providers that have been using Ansible and have asked us to be able to not only run Ansible natively, but also be able to access it via API. So we're providing a full API too. So anybody that wants private beta access to be able to run Ansible securely in the cloud, you can go to playbook.cloud, super easy URL, and you can request private beta access, and we'll on a case-by-case basis let people in.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll look forward to your words of wisdom next month. And Michael, thank you for helping us grow a community surrounding Microsoft 365 Nation. I mean, it's as you and I have talked a lot about, it's a case of not only the overused word transformation, but I would offer onward and upward, that this is a little bigger animal than some of us SMB people are used to playing in, but necessarily so. I don't know if you want to take us out with words of wisdom on business models, but maybe even what you saw at Google Next was you indicated it was a different crowd, man.
It was, and everything was definitely about digital transformation, a large focus on developers, enterprise still, which trying to take that into the service provider world, the good thing is, and one of the tidbits of information that I saw there was, when I was at the Partner Summit, Google had a stat on the screen, which was 80% of existing workloads are still on premise. And I will wager to say that the majority of those workloads are no longer developer workloads. They're all the workloads that every single service provider is currently managing for customers on site, small, medium, maybe even some enterprise. And those workloads will be going to the cloud, whether anybody likes it or not. And I think the growth at these shows are showing there's so much interest that every service provider should be excited to get into the cloud, but also understanding that they need to have everything dialed in from a security standpoint and engaging with companies that are going to help them on their journey to the cloud. I won't say digital transformation, but the journey to the cloud, and making sure that they're engaging with those type of companies. So yeah, that's my little nugget of cloud goodness.
All right, and I'll tell you what, next month we're going to talk about why service providers are using hosted AD, the domain controller, and Azure AD with Office 365. So we'll pick it up there. Thank you very much. Have a great month.
Awesome. Thanks, Harry. You too. Take care.